Hi there. It's a lot of buttons for me to push early in the morning. Hi guys, how are you this morning? Um, it's so good to see all of your faces here today. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Because this is the first time I'm showing that I got a signal. This is my first time doing. Yes, over here. It's over here. I'm looking at myself and I'm not mirrored over here. So, yes, over here. Yay, Totus. Good morning, Totus. Thank you for the subscription. Hey, I need a word for the year for you, Totus. So write that up. I think Robbie is lurking this morning as he's working, lurking while he's working. Um, but I'm glad to see you here. Determined. I like it. I'm going to write it down too. I have a pencil. Let's try that. Totus. Determined. I've turned off all the sound alerts and all of the kind of alerts that we normally have, just so that, because several of you told me after last time that was a little distracting, and I agree with you. It was even distracting for me as a teacher. I'm going to give a few minutes just if anybody else wants to come in here or if you want to go grab some props. I talked about that a little bit last time, and I think what I usually use is a blanket, a strap, and a block. I don't know that you'll need a block today, but certainly a blanket and a strap might be good. Hello, Lady Wayfair. Welcome in. I don't think the coffee's quite kicked in yet, so hopefully we'll have a little grace for Dana as she tries to navigate this all by herself today. Um, so this is gentle morning yoga, and like I said before, if you've been in here, you do not have to have any experience doing yoga. I'm going to try and give lots and lots of prompts for you guys, and also try to give modifications for those of you who may be either new or be doing this from or with a chair. So if mobility is an issue for you, you certainly can use a chair. And sit in the chair and do a lot of it, but today I'm actually going to get you standing if you can, as part of it. So we're going to focus on breathing today. Last time we focused on feeling our body. Where is our body at the moment? And today we're going to be continuing that. You should always be watching where is your body, how is it feeling. It can be uncomfortable when we're changing and making growth. I use the metaphor of going to the gym. If you come back from the gym and you don't feel a little sore, you probably haven't done much of anything to make yourself stronger. So, as we go through yoga, you may feel a little uncomfortable in some of the poses. That's okay, but if it's painful, stop or back out of it, do something else. You also don't have to be doing what I'm doing. I've been in many, many classes where people have been in many different kinds of poses because they're like, what my body really needs right now is this. So that's okay too. Ooh, apparently my notifications are still on. So let's see if I can turn my notifications off so we don't get dings in the middle of class here. Here we go. I'll have to remember to do that. So, does anybody have any questions or anything about going forward here? So we're working on breath work. That's called pranayama. If we're working in poses, that's called asana. It is two of the 8 limbs of yoga. Last time we talked about ahimsa, or non violence, non harming, which I want you to pay attention to your body. That's why I say it shouldn't hurt. We shouldn't be doing any harm to your body. And if you have any kind of injury that's prevented you from fully participating in physical activity, make sure you talk to your doctor, and just participate maybe in the breathing part of this and some of the gentle stretching. So, good morning, Bravewood Beanery. Welcome in. So we're also not going to be doing shout outs in the middle of this, maybe only because I want this to try and be more of a class where we're flowing through it, and we'll try and do some shout outs and stuff at the end. So my hope is to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of every one of these streams just saying, hey, here's what we're doing today. and then to get into the yoga so you guys can get on with your day if you need to. About 45 to 60 minutes of yoga, and then I'm going to hang out. So if you have any questions, we'll do some shout outs. I'll say thank you. We'll chat about life or whatever you want to do. And yeah, that's my hope. That's my hope for this stream. So breathing. And just to go over, for I see a couple of new people in here today already. There are 8 limbs of yoga. What we think of here in the Western world is usually asana is only the movement part of it, which is part 3 of the 8 limbs. It's the third limb of yoga. The first one is yamas, which is how do we relate to people in our community? How do we build community? The niyamas, which is how do we have self-discipline for ourselves, and then asana, and then pranayama, which is what we'll focus on for the most part while we're doing yoga here, are those four limbs. So today we're going to kind of explore pranayama. Not kind of explore, we're actually going to explore it. I don't know why I say kind of all the time. I've got some new things over here so that hopefully I can answer any questions that you guys have as we go along. And we're going to start today on our back. And I'm going to sit here and prompt you guys rather than lying on my back. But I want you to lie down on your back first. And I want you to just take a minute to breathe normally. And I want you to just notice your breathing. What do you notice about your breathing? So take a minute. And if you've got music, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm still working on the music part of this. So if you've got your own yoga music, if you've got some nice soothing music, put that on for yourself. I love to have music on, but I also don't want to get in trouble. So until I figure that part out. So lying on your back, put a hand, we did this last time, put a hand on your chest, put a hand on your stomach, and just breathe normally. How do you normally breathe? What do you notice about the hand on your chest? What do you notice about the hand on your belly? What do you notice about your ribs? Can you feel the floor underneath? Do you feel yourself breathing into the floor at all? If you're sitting in a chair, what do you notice? Can you feel your ribs moving? So we're going to deepen our breath a little bit here. And I want you to try breathing just into your belly. I want you to take a full breath in through your nose. And then I want you to take a full exhale through your mouth. Let's do that again. Full inhale into your belly. Full exhale through your mouth. So I'm going to teach you 3-part breathing. And breathing is so good. I mean, obviously it's necessary for life, right? But it's also really good for anxiety, for relieving anxiety, if we can really pay attention to these deep breaths. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to count it down, is we're going to breathe for a count of 6 in, and then we're going to breathe out for a count of 6. If you can't do 6, it's okay. Do 4, count and see where you are, because the goal of this is to eventually be able to get deeper and deeper breaths so that we're using the full capacity of our lungs, okay? So let's take a deep inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to try and move our breath up some. So we want to breathe into our belly and then into this the thoracic region of our body. And we'll be expanding our ribs a little bit as we do this, okay? So we're still going to do that count of 6, but I want you to make sure that you're also moving up into that second area, in that middle area, okay? So take a deep breath, or exhale all of your air, and then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now we're going to add our chest in there, okay? And instead of counting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, fill up your belly, then we're going to fill up the middle, and now we're going to fill up our chest, and now we're going to exhale our chest, the middle, and our belly, okay? And you can do this at your own pace. You don't have to do it at the one I'm giving you. It may be too fast or too slow for you. So you do it at your own pace. I'm just going to cue it for those of you who would like it, okay? And we're going to inhale and exhale through our nose this time. Make sure that you're doing both the inhale and the exhale through your nose. All right. Exhale everything and inhale into your belly, into the middle, into your chest. Exhale out of your chest, out of the middle, out of your belly. Inhale into your belly, into the middle, into your chest. Exhale out of your chest, out of the middle, out of your belly. So that's called 3-part breathing. And if you ever find yourself very anxious, this is one of the good ways to think about that and do the counting at wherever you are, and to fill and exhale and count as you do that. That really can help bring our breathing rate, slow down our breathing rate, bring down our heart rate, so that we don't feel so anxious or panicked on that. So notice as you go back to your regular breathing, how do you feel? And I see a couple of new people in here. We're doing yoga, so I don't really try to chat too much, except for the yoga that we're doing here. But welcome in, Adam and Humphrey. All right. So that's a breath you can always go back to. And go ahead and sit back up. We're going to get into easy pose, which is also called Sukhasana. I'm going to see if these make any difference. But I was even at the right camera, so I wasn't even looking at you guys that whole time. I think I get a little wider view from that. Okay. So we're going to sit in Sukhasana. Whew. Let me come way back here. I need to change some camera angles around. We're getting there. We're going to figure it out, okay? And so that's just easy pose. Crisscross applesauce, whatever feels good to you, is we're going to get into this. So about breathing, in order to calm our nervous system down, what works best is when you inhale. Most of us do a longer inhale and a shorter exhale. And when we're trying to calm our system down, we actually want to change that. We want our exhale to be longer than our inhale. That's best. If you can make it even, that's okay too. Another good breathing exercise if you're feeling anxious is called box breathing or 4-step breathing, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, inhale or hold for 4. So any of those things helps us gain control of our breath, so that we can calm ourselves down when life's stresses get to us. All right, so settle in for a second. Take a deep breath in and exhale. We're going to do our gentle stretching to get started. Hi, DJ. Come join us in easy pose or sukhasana, as it is in Sanskrit. Take those deep breaths. And here's what I want you to do. Here's another visualization for you. Put your hands together like this, okay? And as you breathe in, actually push your hands down flat. And as you exhale, you can dome your hands. That's what's happening with your diaphragm. When we breathe in, it flattens out. And when we exhale, it kind of pushes back up against our lungs. So that's another visualization for you when you're breathing. Go back to whatever breathing feels good for you at any point today during yoga. All right, let's take a big stretch up. And then stretch back down. If you need to, if your hips are really tight, you might want to put a blanket just underneath to sit on. That helps give us a little more room in our hips, okay? And we're going to do that again. We're going to stretch up. And then as we exhale, we're going to drop our right hand over to the side. We're going to stretch that left hand up and then over. And as you're here, I want you to breathe into those left ribs. I want you to feel your breath stretching out the ribs. We have muscles in between our ribs called the intercostals. Now, just twist gently and see if you can get parallel with the ground. If you cannot, that is okay. We just want a gentle twist in our spine to warm it up. If you're on a chair, you're going to hold on to the chair seat while you do these. And then come back up. Take another deep breath into your ribs. And then we're going to exhale and come back up. And look, there's my shirt. You get to see my belly. All right. Let's inhale up. Drop our left hand. Stretch over with our right. And then breathe. Take a couple of deep breaths into those right ribs, like you're trying to touch those ribs to the ceiling. And when you're ready, you can turn to be parallel to the floor. Feel the stretch in your back or maybe in your hips. Come back up to here. Breathe into your ribs and then come back up. Let's do that one more time. We're going to drop our right hand and stretch over. Breathing into the ribs. My bolster's in the way. And then drop parallel to the floor so your chest is parallel to the floor. Still reaching. Make sure you're still reaching with that left arm. If you stretch it a little further, do you feel a little stretch in your hips? I do. And then back up to here. And then now to the left side, drop your left hand. Stretch over. Breathe into the ribs. Parallel to the floor. Back up. And back up. And come and place your hands on your knees. You can do these the same way in the chair as you can. We're going to do some cat-cows as we do on the floor. I want you to try inhaling as you kind of do a little baby back bend while leaning forward. So we're trying to push our chest forward. We don't want to be tilted all the way back with our head. And then exhale as you go backwards. Stopping where you need to, and do this at your own pace. We're going to do a few. Get the front and the back of the spine going. Notice your breath. Do you have a tendency to inhale one direction, exhale the other? Be intentional about it. Doesn't matter which way, whichever feels good to you. I'm trying with the mic. Okay. Now we're going to do some gentle twist off to the side. So take your left hand, put it on your right knee. Put your right hand, put it behind you. Take a deep breath as you stretch towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, twist. We're not warm yet, so don't try to make your twist too deep. Just get to it and you're like, oh, I feel that. I feel that. If you're in a chair, your back hand might be holding on to the seat of the chair as you turn. And every time you inhale, think about stretching up as you inhale, maybe getting a little more out of your twist. But don't hurt yourself. If something is hurting, back off. You might want to block behind you if your arms are short like mine. I forgot to put mine back there. And now untwist and bring your hands up as you inhale. And now go the other direction. Notice your breathing first. When I'm doing this, I always have to pay attention to my shoulder that's in front of me because I have a tendency to put it up by my ear. So I always have to say, drop that shoulder, Dana. If you see it, tell me, Dana, drop that shoulder. So inhale, stretch up, exhale, twist a little more. Bring your hands up and come back to center. Put your hands down. Now let's take a big shoulder roll here and roll our shoulders forward and back. And feel that. And then forward. Get our shoulders warmed up a little bit. You may even want to do this. What feels good? Getting those shoulders all warmed up. Okay, and then let's take some circles. You can do little circles, gradually getting bigger in one direction. Maybe you want really big circles. This always feels good to me. It starts to warm up my lower back, which is usually pretty stiff in the morning. And then let's go the other direction. Are you breathing? Make sure you're breathing as you're doing your circles. Okay, let's warm our shoulders up just a little bit more. If you remember last time, we stretched our arms out and then we gave ourselves a big hug. Left arm over the right. Give yourself a big hug. If you want a little more stretch, you can take your right elbow and push up your left arm. But again, be careful, because if it hurts, don't do it. We're going to give a big stretch our arms out again and go the other way. So your right arm over your left, if you're following me. Now you can do this again. This time we're going to stretch our arms out. And we're going to go into eagle arms if you want to stretch a little bit more of the upper back. Okay, so you're going to twist your arms around and then put your palms together. Another way to get into this, if this is hard, is to put your arms up, put your left arm over your left, and then bend them down. I don't do as well with that one. This is the way I like to do it. If you want more stretch, you can lift your arms up. You can tilt your arms out. Okay, let's stretch out and let's do the other side. This is one of my favorite shoulder and upper back stretches for me. You may find that something else works better for you. Just a reminder that our bodies are all very different. We've all had different experiences, so we're all going to feel things differently within our body. So do what you need. Let's take a second and let's just warm our wrist up. So just go one direction with your wrist. We use these a lot, especially if you're in front of a computer all day, right? We need to stretch them out. Now go the other direction. Now, if you're on a chair, you're going to have to do this on your legs. If you're on the floor, put the backs of your hands in front of you and just gently put a little pressure in there as you lean forward. And then the other direction, press forward. And then shake it out. Because we're gonna use our wrists a little bit today. So let's get onto our knees next, and we're going to do some cat-cow on our knees. And if you're in a chair, you're going to go back to that other cat-cow, and maybe you can deepen it a little bit. I have knees that don't like me very much, so I put a blanket under my knees or another mat. Sometimes I have another mat, a little small one, and we're going to start with that, okay? And get on our knees. You want your knees about hip width, different distance apart. And we're just going to, as you do this, again, pay attention to your breath. As you inhale, you're going to arch your back backwards like into a little back bend. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders. And then as you exhale, stretch your back. Hopefully you can hear me better now that I'm not hitting my mic as I do these. And do these at your own pace. And if you want to, what else do you need? Do you want to look back at your hip this way? Look back at your hip that way? Do you want some circles? This is the part where we're stretching out those little parts. I don't know which part of your body needs more stretching. So you do what you need. You do what you need. Okay, so we're gonna do cat-cows words. And I want we're gonna pay attention to our breathing now, okay? So as we do the cat this way, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna exhale here, and we're gonna hold in between the inhales and the exhales, okay? So first let's go into cat. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold, exhale, hold. One more time. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Now I want you to stretch back into a child's pose, which is called Balasana. You can do this with your knees together. You can do it with your knees apart. For me, with my hips being as tight as they are, being apart is a little more comfortable for me. In child's pose, if you've never done one, looks like this. Can you see me? You probably can't. Let me see. Let me get my stream deck and give you a wide shot here. Okay? Woo! That frame rate isn't good there. All right.
We'll get back to the other thing in a second.
Or if you want, if that's too hard on your shoulders, you can put your cheek down and put your arms to the side like that. So stay there. Feel your breath. Where can you breathe when you've got your body all in this little place? It gets harder to breathe when we ball up into things. It's easier to breathe when we're stretched out. Okay, from child's pose, which if you're in it, it's going to be hard to see. I want you to walk your hands back up, and I want you to put your knees close together like this. This is called Vajrasana, and we're going to practice breathing in through this, okay? So we're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale back down into something that's sort of like child's pose. If you can get your head down to the floor doing this, awesome. I cannot. I can put a block in front of me if I want to, so that I don't feel like I'm going to crash land into the mat. So feel free to use that if you want to, or a blanket or something in front of you. So it's just going to be, we're going to be up like we are in camel, and then we're going to come down like this. If you are in a chair, you're just going to lengthen up, and then you're going to curl down as we breathe, okay, on the chair. All right, are we ready? We're going to do a few of these. I'll cue the first couple, and then I want you to do them at your own pace from there. All right, so here we go. We're going to start. We're going to inhale, paying attention to where you're feeling it, and then we're going to exhale. Inhale. I don't have enough breath to even say it. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now do a couple of more at your own pace. And when you're done, go ahead and go back into child's pose, whichever child's pose feels good to you. All right. So when you're done and you're in child's pose, we're going to lie on our stomach. And now, one of the things that's really important for good breathing is to have a strong core. Okay, so we're going to do some very light core work here, and it's stuff that you can work on throughout the week to and make yourself stronger on it, okay? So we're not going to do a full plank today. We're going to do it from our knees. If you are, even if you're an overachiever, I want you to do it from your knees today. I want you to challenge yourself to do this on your knees today and focus on strengthening and breathing while you're in plank, because I see a lot of people hold their breath while they're doing plank. So we're going to start by coming all the way down. Put your hands underneath your shoulders, because we're going to start with a baby cobra, okay? We're going to start by just coming up. And remember, in cobra, we don't want our elbows out like this. We want our elbows in, and we want to be able to lift our hands. So we want our back to be able to support us while we're like this, okay? And then we're going to come down. And then on plank, I want you to bend your knees. And if your knees are bad, make sure you've got a blanket or something underneath it. I want your hands underneath your shoulders. I'm going to cue what a plank should look like, okay? You should not be down like this. You shouldn't be way up like that, but I'd rather have you up like this if you don't have the strength to do a full plank yet than have you be like this, okay? So my shoulders are over my wrist. Now I want to look at my elbows. How are my elbows? Can you see my elbows moving here? I want to turn the inside of my elbows out as much towards the front as I can, okay? And then I don't want my head back like this, and I don't want my head down like this. I want it to be neutral. I want my neck to be in line with the rest of my spine, which for most of us means looking at the edge of our mat. And we're going to hold that for a few seconds. And then I want you to slowly lower yourself down. And your chest should be the first thing that touches. Okay, now we're going to do a little baby cobra. Or come down. We're going to do 2 more of these planks, okay? So come up. And this time, now that you've got your, where your wrist and your shoulders and all that should be, I want you to think about breathing. And lower yourself down. And if you do these every day, you'll get stronger. All right, up in cobra. What I love about planks is it's easy to tell how much better you're getting at it. Can I hold it for 10 seconds? All right, come on down. And then the next day, can I do 1 second more? And then come back up and plank. And then come back down. Do another little baby cobra. And now put your hands on your put your head on your hands. One hand on top of the other hand, and put your head down. I did not cue, and I'm really sorry about this, for people who are using a chair. Let me show you how to do a plank on a chair. You're actually going to stand. So while you guys rest, and you can windshield wiper your feet. Let me tell you to do that while I'm showing. Bend your feet up, and then just go back while your head is down. And windshield wiper your feet back and forth. That helps reset your hips. For people on a chair, when you're doing plank in the future, because sorry, I forgot to cue that. I even had it written down to cue you for it. You can stand up and put your hands on here, and for plank, you just need to lean forward until you get strong enough, and you just keep moving your feet out and out to do it. So even if you're doing them on the floor and it's too hard, that'll help you a little bit. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of our wrist when we're up a little bit higher. Okay, so now let's do the stretch for our shoulders. If you remember that last time, I want to just get one quick more shoulder stretch in, because I think they're really important with the amount of sitting in front of computers that we do these days. And even when the day is done, we sit a lot of times in front of the TV with our phones or iPads, and it's good to get some stretching in there and open up our chest more. So we're going to put our arms at a T, right, with our cheek down. So let's put our right cheek down on the mat first. And then we're going to take our left hand and put it underneath our left shoulder. We're going to bend our left foot. We're going to twist over. We're going to push through that hand to push over. And you can put that foot in front of your leg, behind your leg, whichever works. But you should feel a nice deep stretch in that right shoulder. You might feel some in your back or in your hips. Now, as you're there, take a deep breath in. Where are you breathing? Do you feel it? Can you breathe into your lower left ribs? All right, unwind. Take that left hand, stretch it back out to a T. Now bring your right hand in, Put it underneath your right shoulder. Bend that right leg. Push through your right hand and twist. You can put your head down if you want to. You'll get a little bit different stretch that way. Can you breathe into that lower right ribs? Unwind yourself. Come back to center. Put one hand on top of the other. Bend both knees and windshield wiper them back and forth again. Or move your hips, whatever you think feels good. All right, from here, we're going to do a few standing exercises. And you can just stand up carefully, or if you want to, you can go to a down dog. I suggest, because we're staying gentle, that you go to your knees and then lift up into a down dog. And if you're in a down dog, maybe you want to pedal your feet a little bit. Does that feel good? Stretching those calves. At least for me, it's a stretch on the calves. Oh, somehow I knocked a candle over. Interesting. All right, now walk forward to your front hands and just hang here in a forward fold. If you are using a chair for this, what you will do is your down dog may look like this. And as you come to do a forward fold, just come to the chair and use the chair to lean on in a forward fold. If you're worried about your balance, use a chair for balance or use the wall for balance. All right, you may want to grab your elbows and swing them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to flatten our back. You can put your hands on your shins or on the floor. Some people can do it from the floor, or you may have to do it from here. And you're going to come up to a flat back. If you need to, by the way, bend your knees. This is called camper's pose. It's an actual pose. And all the muscles in your legs may just be really tight, and that's okay because you'll work on that. All right, so flat back, come back down. And then we're going to stretch our arms out to the side, up and over. That's called a reverse swan. And then we're going to come down and press our hands together here. And I'll stand back here a little more. And my pants are falling down. Shh. We'll fix that. Okay. All right, so mountain pose, a lot of people think it's just standing here. So let's talk I want to talk about the basics of mountain pose. And what I want you to do is I want you to look at your feet. Do you have your feet like right together like this? I used to do this all the time in mountain pose, and it's actually exacerbated some of my knee issues. So let's get them more underneath our hips. And if you're unsure exactly how that is, take your two fists, kind of lean down and see, are my feet about two fist widths apart? So we've got that, okay? And we're going to work our way up. Now that we're on our feet, let's rock back and forth on your feet, side to side, maybe a little bit, sway side to side. You should feel contact with 4 corners of your feet, and that does not include your toes. Your toes are there for balance, but I want you to really be grounded and rooted. I want to have a strong foundation. So that comes from the 4 corners of our feet. That comes from either side of the balls of our foot and either side of our heel of the foot. Do you feel really grounded? If I sway back and forth, side to side, does my body want to come back to a particular space? All right, now, we don't want to lock our knees out. This is the main issue I used to do. I used to go and lock my knees. We don't want our knees locked, but what we do want to do to protect is we want to lift our kneecaps. So I want you to think about we're using our quads, the bottom parts of our quads, and we're lifting our kneecaps. And as that happens, we need to engage our glutes, okay? Now we're standing up tall. We're feeling like our head is trying to touch, the top of our head is trying to touch the ceiling. And we're gonna roll our shoulders back. And then we can put our hands like this, so it's active, right? We're not just hanging our arms like this, like spaghetti. We're doing strong arms. And then breathe. Take a couple of breaths. Maybe if you're feeling like your balance is pretty good, close your eyes for a second. What do you feel? Are you using all of your lungs to breathe, or are you breathing really shallowly? Really shallow. All right. So let's do another forward fold, okay? And then we're going to come back into this mountain pose. So I want you to take your arms and I want you to do a swan dive. So we're going to go up overhead and then exhale as we forward fold. And you can stay in this just forward bend or bend your knees into a camper's pose, what feels better for you. You may just be hanging here. It is okay. It took a long time before I could touch the floor. And then we're going to go halfway up, go back down, and then swan dive up until we come back here. Now we're going to sweep our hands up, and then we're going to do some quick side bends here, okay? Now, a side bend is not meant to do this, right? Just like we do on the floor, we want to stretch up. And then I want you to feel like you're drawing along the ceiling. And if you can and want to, you can push that hip out. Now, if you're doing this with a chair and you need some extra, that you can hold onto the chair with this hand and then just stretch towards there, to wherever it feels comfortable. Or maybe just slightly a little uncomfortable, okay? And as you're here, breathe into your hips. Can you get your arms next to your ears? Can you straighten your arms? Right? If this is all you can do because your shoulders are tight or your arms hurt or whatever, that's okay. And then come back up. And then let's go do the other side. You might need to push those hips out. Take a couple of breaths. And then come back up. So it doesn't matter if you're actually able to get your arms straight or anything. It's thinking about it. Because every time we think about those things and we're like, can I make them a little straighter? Can I get my hands a little closer together? Can I bend a little more? We're kind of training our body to start going that direction. As I knock stuff over. Okay, so next we want to do, that's also called crescent moon, and it's really great. It helps relieve stress and tension that we've got in our lower back. Let's do one quick balancing exercise here. If you need a wall or a chair, there's nothing wrong with that. This is where we're going to start. But balance is one of the biggest issues that we have as we get older. It causes a lot of falls and trips, so it's always good to practice that. So we're going to practice with tree, and what you're going to do is you're going to get into that mountain pose. So ask yourself, am I here? Is everything steady? Am I on my feet well? Then let's bend our left knee, and let's turn it out. Maybe take that foot and put it right here against our body like this. This is tree. All right, you can have your hands here, you can have your hands here, you can have your hands out like this, you can have them over your head, wherever you want. You do your expression of a tree. This is like the creative portion of yoga. What does your tree look like? Okay, you can stay just like this, or you can move your foot up to here. Do not put your heel or any pressure into your knee. That's very bad for your knee. You can do it above your knee, or you can even do, and I may not be able to do this today, you can do it this way. Okay? And so the aim is just to balance. And that's it. Your expression of a tree, just balance. Is your right leg, which is your standing leg, is it strong? Have you locked your knee out? Don't lock your knee out. What happens when you try to breathe deeply in this exercise? Where are you breathing? Are you stretching that head towards the ceiling? All right. Turn that knee forward, set that foot down, and now we're going to bend our right knee and turn it out to the side and put it wherever you want to and do your next expression of tree. So remember, you can do wherever you want to do that. Balance. You did your squats. It does protect your joints. It's all good for you, that balance. So we'll add more balancing poses as we go. Tree is just a really great one to do. Bring your knee forward, put your foot down, and come back to mountain pose. Your mountain pose can be here, and if it's here, if you decide you don't want to put your hands down to your side, make sure you're putting some gentle pressure into your hands so that you're activating your arms. All right. So we're going to go to our knees. We're going to, let's do one quick standing back bend too. This is also really good for you. So we did side bends, right? We've done forward folds this way. So now we're going to go back. We're going to put our hands up. We're going to stretch our hands to the ceiling. Put your arms as close to your ears as you can. And if your arms are here because you can't quite get them stretched up like that, that's okay. Just think about it. How much can I stretch them? Now, you're going to be using your glutes to protect your lower back, but I want you to just gently deep back, like you're drawing along the ceiling. And don't take your head all the way back. Your head should stay in that nice curve that you've just created with your back. And then come back forward. And then do one more. Come back forward. And release your hands. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I don't know why I'm talking out there. You're right here. I need something right there to talk to you guys. We're going to come back down to our knees. As we get further along, I'll transition. We'll be doing exercises to come down to the various poses. But for now, let's come back down to our knees. We're going to do something that's called sunbird, and this is just to get some mobility back into our back. And basically, you're going to go on all fours like this, and you're going to go back and forward at your own pace, paying attention to your breathing as you do it, right? Maybe inhaling as we come forward, exhaling as we go back. Maybe pause where you feel you want a little stretch. And if you need something else, if you need to go in different directions, feel free to do that as well. Trying to keep all the papers near me. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back down to our stomach. We're going to do cobra and a little cobra twist with it. As we wind down here. Okay. So come back down. Put your hands under your shoulders. If you're sitting, do these with your hands on your knees and just kind of push yourself back. Remember, we should be able to raise those. As you're up, also notice are your glutes all tensed up? Can you think about letting your glutes go? How does that feel on your back when you do that? Does it hurt? Then maybe I need to lower down just a little bit. Okay? Am I breathing while I'm here? And then release.
This time as we come up,
just take a look. Go look to your left. Can I look at my foot? And come forward. Can I look over to my right? Can I see my foot? And if this is hurting your back, by the way, I don't think I told you guys this, put your legs further apart. That helps you get up a little further without putting so much pressure on your back. You're going to put more pressure on your back. Come forward and then come back down. You're going to put more pressure on your back the closer your feet are together. And for some of us, that may feel good, and for some of us, that may really be painful. All right. If you are doing that on the chair, your hands are just going to be here. And as you do a twist, you're going to, come up in cobra like that, and then you're going to twist and just look over your shoulder while pushing your hands into your thighs, and then coming forward and over the edge, okay? All right, let's go to our back. Let's get some stuff done on our back. So everybody work your way back, and then we're going to do wind relieving. So wind relieving is you're on your back, and you're pulling your knees into your chest. Some people, I am not one of them, can grab opposite elbows. I can barely grab right at my knees. Rock back and forth, forward, back, whatever feels good. But this compression is so good for us. So take the moment. Maybe you feel all the stretches in your back. And move as you need to. And when you're ready, lie back down on your mat in a straight with your feet out. Now we're going to bend our knees. And I'm going to do it this way so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'll tell you how to do it on a chair. I need like a little light on which camera I'm using. All right, bend your knees in and put your arms down by your side with your palms facing into the floor. All right, and then we're going to do some bridges here. So we're going to lift up, and then I want you to roll down one vertebrae at a time. But I want you to really feel that bridge, right? I want you to stay up here as long as it feels good. I want you to use those glute muscles to get you up as high as you can. If you are doing these on a chair, there's a couple things. Let me show you guys on the chair. For that wind relieving, you can either bring your knees in, or you can come down like this, or you can even just bring one leg up and do half wind relieving. And for our bridges, I want you to hold on to the back of your chair, and you're just going to do this. And if you're a little bit stronger and you want to do it this way, you can get on the edge of your chair, and you can just do this. And come back down. All right. Have we all done enough bridges? Do you feel good with that? Sorry. Sound. All right. Let's do some twist on the floor. Then we're going to do happy baby, and then we're going to do some shavasana. Okay? And then you will have made it through the yoga class. All right, lie down. Let's bring our left leg up. You can hold behind the calf here, or the thigh here, okay? Or you can, if you have a strap, you can put it into your foot and pull it up. Now stretch it to the outside. So drop it to the left side. If you've got a strap, you want the strap in your left hand. And bring your leg up. Now drop it to the other side. I don't have my strap right now. I do. I just don't have it in my hand. So we've got that going to the right side, crossing over the other leg. Come back to center. Okay? Bend to the knee, bring it into your shoulder. And now we're going to take that knee and we're going to twist it over to the right side. And you take whatever twist feels good to you. You can take the knee to the floor, in which case your left shoulder will probably be off the floor. You can keep your shoulder on the floor and twist your knee just as far as it can go. And once you settle into that twist, where do you feel your breath? Do you find that you have to breathe into your ribs because it's too hard to breathe into your belly? All right, unwind. Take that right leg or that left leg and send it to the floor. Bring your right leg in and straight back at a nice stretch. Now, you might want to put your left arm out. That helps balance a little bit. Drop that leg down to the right side. I'm kind of cheating here. The couch is right there. Bring it back to center. And if you've got a strap, you want to switch it to your left hand and bring that leg over to the left-hand side. Where are you breathing? What does it feel like in this position? All right, bring your leg back up to center, bend your knee, bring it into your right shoulder, and then send it long. Oh, I forgot to twist, didn't I? All right, bring that knee back in. Bring your right knee back in. Take it, twist it over to the left-hand side. Whatever feels good to you. Now, where do you feel the breathing? All right, now come back to center. Stretch that knee to your right shoulder, send it out long. Okay, happy baby. Or whatever you want. Whatever, if you want to do wind relieving again, do wind relieving again. If something else, if you feel like I really need another bridge, I really need to do this, do that, okay? But if you want to do happy baby looks like this. We grab our toes or we grab the bottom of our feet and we're compressing our legs into our hips. It's so good for our hips. It really is. And you might feel it in your lower back a little bit. Some people like to do this and get a little stretch in their calves or their hamstrings and then go the other way. Some people like to do both like this and get some inner thigh stretches. whatever you want. Rock back and forth. Babies rock back and forth when they grab their feet. And when you're done, go ahead and lie back down into Shavasana. You should be comfortable in this position. You might want a blanket under your knees. Maybe you want to elevate your feet. A lot of people like to do that and put their feet up on a blanket. Some people need something under their neck. Try tucking, make sure your shoulders aren't up here while you're lying down. Try to bring them back like somebody is pulling your t-shirt from behind. And get into a comfortable position. Where do you want your hands? Do you want them on your belly? Do you feel safer if there's a blanket over your belly while you're in this position? Whatever, ever feels good. And get in that position. And come back to your breathing. What does your normal breathing feel like? And as you're there in Shavasana, I'm going to read something that was adapted by one of my favorite authors, Thich Nhat Hanh, who actually has a whole book on breathing and talks about breathing a lot. So as your body settles and your eyes close, bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice the breath coming in. Notice the breath going out. Follow the breath with your awareness. Follow your breath all the way in. Follow your breath all the way out. Don't try to change it in any way, just breathing in, breathing out. Feel the breath as it enters your nose. Perhaps it feels a little cool. Notice your breath as you exhale, and it's been warmed by your lungs. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. And if any thoughts come, as they normally do, acknowledge your thoughts without judgment. Then let them go. Let them drift away like clouds floating across the sky, and bring your awareness back to your breath, back to the present moment. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Each time your attention moves away from the breath, whether it's being distracted by a thought, something you have to do, a sound, something that's worrying you, notice it, acknowledge it, let it go, and then bring your awareness back to your breath. As it comes in, as it goes out. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. By breathing this way, we are connecting our mind and our body to the present moment, knowing that the word for breath and spirit in many, many languages is actually the same. I'm dwelling in the present moment. I know this is a wonderful moment. Every day you might want to mindfully breathe this way 5 to 10 minutes a day. Think about that. Notice that slight turning point from when you go from an exhale to an inhale to an exhale. Now take a moment and notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling tension in any part of your body? Your feet, your ankles, your legs, your hips, your stomach, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck. Are you holding tension in your face? Take a deep inhale and let it go as you exhale. Maybe take a moment in this moment as you're breathing. Offer gratitude to yourself for taking this time for yourself to be quiet and to breathe and to move, to start bringing yourself back into balance. Take a few more breaths. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Start to deepen your breath and start to bring a little movement into your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, turn to one side in a comfortable position, maybe a fetal position. Taking a moment to seal in all the good work that you've done today. And when you're ready, push yourself up into a comfortable position, perhaps Sukhasana, maybe it's on your knees. And when you get there, focus on your breathing. You can keep your eyes closed or maybe open them and have a soft focus. And then take your arms and sweep them up with a big inhale and exhale as you bring them down into prayer pose. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my second week of yoga. I appreciate and love your energy and your time that you spent with me. And as always, go out into the world and be yourself and be kind. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for breathing here. I see that this username said, I breathe so deep I take 2 to 3 people's oxygen around me. Yeah, they'll find their own oxygen. It's all good. It's all good. Do you guys have any questions, thoughts, feedback for me? Did this microphone placement work better? I know I really do need to work on camera placement a little more. Maybe Robbie and I can play with that this week. Thank you, Ginger Tea and Lady Wayfarer and Bravewood and Whisking Unicorn and Panfryer and all of you guys for being here today. I feel like I'm kind of a mess, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm so glad you guys are here. How come I feel short? Is it because I'm not on the right? Am I not on the right camera? There we go. That's the one I want. I've been looking at the wrong cameras all day. So I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Family 910. Thank you. Thank you. And Wolf Mom is in here too. We have so many people that are in here that we need to give shout outs to. Make sure you guys are following Wolf Mom and Bravewood Beanery. Ginger Tea is a part of Hippie Wayfarers, as is Lady Wayfarers streams. They are also amazing people. Oh, good. I'm glad that that mic worked well. It worked well as long as I made sure that I was breathing, as I was breathing. You missed it, Kanara. Welcome in, another fabulous streamer. Oh, I'm glad this is a good way to start your week off. It is for me too. Shh, secret. It's not really a secret if it's on Discord, Ginger Tea. Um, but thank you guys. Remember, breathing is so very important. Not just for life, but just for enjoying life. It's so much better for us. We think better when we breathe deep. And I'll tell you a funny story. You're going to catch the VOD. Awesome. Well, at least you got back from a trip that I'm hoping that was great for you, that you got to enjoy. And good morning. Biceps lover, hello, welcome in. I'm so glad to see you here. So glad to see you here. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me in Twitch or any of the social medias. I think if we do, let me. I'm new at doing all the stuff myself, so usually I have Robbie here to do this stuff for me. So feel free to message me anywhere about any questions you have. If you need modifications for anything, I can help you with that as well. And I was going to say something else. Oh, I was going to tell you about breathing. I have a funny story about breathing. Years ago, and this won't surprise some people who know me, like maybe Kanara, I did a thing called Stiletto Spy School. And it was actually awesome. And one of the things we did was hand-to-hand combat, which doesn't really seem to go with yoga very much. But the instructor there, who was ex-military, Russian military, would have people dogpile on top of you, and then he'd say, you need to figure out how to breathe. And he said, when you find yourself in situations, you need to stop and you need to figure out how to breathe. That has to be your first priority, because if you don't, you'll panic. And if you panic, you can't think. So breathing is such a great way to calm down our nervous system. So keep practicing that. Keep deepening your breath. Remember, the 4 square breathing is a great way to calm ourselves down. That's inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 4, inhale, hold for 4. And so you're doing that. You're doing inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And then you can also kind of visualize it if you're a visual person, and it takes your mind off of, it helps distract your mind from what you're worried about. A really great way is to make sure that your exhales are longer than your inhales, which we tend to do the opposite. So I'm so glad that everybody's enjoying this. I'm enjoying it too. I'm so enjoying seeing you guys and seeing your lovely faces in the morning, even if I'm not really seeing your faces. I'm just seeing, your color in my in my chat. It's been awesome. All right. So any other question? It does help you stay calm. I teach this to my clients all of the time. So it's a great. Yeah, a Twitch auras. Yes, so your aura is red. Your Twitch aura is red, Kanara. Fajita Phantoms is like light orange. Ginger Teas is like bright orange. Bicep Lovers is purple. Okay. Well, is there anybody we could go see? I don't have another thing up with the... Here, I guess I can go over here. Who's on? Should we raid somebody? Da, da, da. This is, well, it's telling me I'm live. I can't look. Is there anybody that would be good to go to? Cook with Kate is on. I could call, it could be Ginger, and Brave Woods is Pumpkin. Oh, I don't know what just happened here. Tangerine. Nice. Raiders hold hands. Okay. Drink more, cook less. Could you, Robbie, could you put the raid thing in there so I don't mess it up? Whiskey Unicorn's purple aura. All right, maybe not. Is he doing? He is doing it. Okay. Are you doing the raid for me? Guys, thank you so much. Your energy is lovely in the morning. It's wonderful to have you here. It's wonderful to have Rocky at camp for the day so he doesn't bother us during yoga. Um, so I guess he's not. Are you going to do the raid, Robbie? All right, remind me. It is /raid and then cook with. I'm trying. He did start it? I don't see it on mine. Okay. Well, then I guess it's ready whenever. Okay, I can't start it from here for some reason. So can you do that for me? All right. It's already going. Bye. Love you guys. It's not showing up here. I don't know what to tell you. You guys are fabulous. Love you. Am I still live? Am I still going? Apparently I am. I can see it. Let's go over. I'm still trying to figure my stuff out.
Thank you for the raid, friends. Do you want to see what we just dropped off? They were playing health and fitness. What was